Hey everybody, how's it going? Yesterday I did a video on Nintendo Authorized Repair, where I said that it sucked. I said this based on a video done by my colleague, who I'd highly suggest checking out in the link down below. The Coder, he has a little repair place in the UK, and he does lots of component level repairs similar to what I do. And he works on game consoles and portable game consoles. So he had a customer that had an issue with their charge port. The customer sent it to Nintendo, and Nintendo was not going to transfer the data from the old device to the new one, and they also weren't going to replace the charge port. They were going to replace the entire board, because God forbid that an authorized repair center actually do something that can be construed as repair. They replace things. They don't repair anything. So what the customer did is they said, okay, fine, I don't want it. I want my device back, which is, again, fair. You know, you give it an estimate, say no to the estimate, you get the device back. It's how it works at my shop. What happened here is that the device came back with a part ripped off of it for the screen to display an image that has nothing to do with charge port repair, and this device had not been to any other shop before this. Further, they added to the estimate that the screen was broken, even though it just had a tempered glass screen protector on it that had some minor damage to it. This happens all the time at my store. People will show up and they'll say, my screen is cracked, and I'll go, oh, how much is it to fix it? And I'll go, free. Ta-da! You don't have a cracked screen. You have a bad screen protector. Be happy. And it's something that I would expect even a base-level receptionist that's been working at my company for one day to be able to see. This is a just basic common sense thing to where I would almost tend to believe that there's malice, not ignorance, involved if you are seriously telling customers they need a new screen when they have a bad tempered glass screen protector. So after I did this video going over this entire thing and just giving my thoughts on authorized repair, which I like to call branded repair, that was Jessa Jones's term for it, I think it's much more fitting since there's no such thing as someone who gets to authorize you on whether you could fix something you own. I gave my thoughts on it, and someone reached out to me who I know who works at a very large repair company, a very large authorized repair company. And he said, to comment on your latest video about authorized Nintendo repair, it is complete bullshit. Out of the daily 15 to 20 devices I repair, I get maybe 10 that come in from a previous attempted repair by Nintendo. The shit I have seen is nothing but disgusting. I have seen the backlight ribbon being unplugged with notes that say, defective LCD, to just flat-out refusal to replace one component on the board, such as the main power IC M92T36, that often fails, resulting in no power. Some are fair, major liquid damage with no success after cleaning or using an ultrasonic machine. To add to this, some third-party repair is also quite scummy. The place I work at, who is contracted by Redacted, also pulls that same bullshit with the screen protector. I'm required to remove the screen protector on a Nintendo Switch and mark it as LCD replaced. I am also required to reflow blue screen error code switches, dead system on a chip, like a dying GPU on a MacBook, and mark it repaired and send it as it gets my company's numbers up. And as you know, most companies only care about numbers. Some companies, regardless of being authorized or not, have really shady practices. I feel like you as a customer, you should decide where your device is going in the reputation of that place as a whole. And it genuinely kills me that I can't tell you the name of the company because I am sworn to secrecy. We had a conversation afterwards where I asked him, is this something where you would feel comfortable with me sharing the name of the company? And it is a giant company that is bought out by another giant company that people would tend to trust because of the partnerships that they have that you probably wouldn't trust if you knew what was going on behind the scenes. But the idea here is that that large company that purchased another company that is then outsourcing it to another company, the main thing that you need to understand here is that when you think your device is being repaired by someone trustworthy or authorized, in many cases it is being outsourced to an staffing agency that is then hiring someone that is then hiring someone that is there is so many levels between you and the person that you're actually having fixed the device when you go to many of these larger brand name companies or authorized repair centers. And it's important to understand that because when you go to an independent, most of the time you're dealing with the individual who's going to do the repair, or you're dealing with the person who's then going to walk right over to the person doing repair, who's often, someone you can see working right in front of you. In my store, you talk to Kevin. After you talk to Kevin, he walks it over to Camille, who's 6 feet away from him. And if there's a question that Kevin can answer, he'll have Camille walk up, and Camille can answer it for you. It's a trustworthy way of doing business because you get to deal with a person who's actually going to do the job, rather than have to deal with someone who deals with someone who deals with someone who then deals with someone who then deals with somebody else. This is crazy. I mean, the idea that people are reaching out to me a day after I did that video saying, oh yeah, that defective, that broken LCD thing because of a screen protector, we're required to do that. That's insane. Having the backlight ribbon being unplugged with notes that say a bad LCD. I mean, again, one of the things to understand here is that independents have an incentive structure built in for you to be happy with an economically viable repair, because they don't make any money if they're not able to offer you a service that makes financial sense, that's economically viable. If I tell you it's going to cost $1,500 to fix a $1,200 computer, I'm not the one who's going to be benefiting when you go say, okay, screw it, I'll just buy another one. The manufacturer benefits from that. I don't benefit from that. If I'm an independent, what I have to sell you is an economically viable repair. So it doesn't make sense for me to rip you off, because if I tell you that the price is going to be too high, then you're going to say no. You're not going to want to get anything fixed with me. I need to come up with a way to make this work. So if there's a charge port on the board that's not working, I'm not going to replace a $100 or a $200 or a $300 part and then charge you $400 to $500 to fix something that costs $300. I'm going to be incentivized to figure out a way to make what you have work in a way that is economically viable. So if you can't imagine spending more than $100 in this repair, and there's a way to fix that with a part that costs $1 and skilled labor that costs half an hour, I'm going to figure out a way to make that work. And if I can't make that work, then I make no money. The manufacturer is set up to do as many repairs as quickly as possible, get this stuff out the door as quickly as possible, and if we're not able to do that, then just sell them another one, sell them another one, sell them another one. They're going to make money some other way. The repair shop primarily has one way of making money: keep you happy by offering you a repair that is economically viable and feasible for you. Their personal reputation is on the line. Their ability to make money into the future, to feed their family, to pay their rent, is on the line based on being able to offer economically viable repairs to you. If they fail to do that, they go out of business. And it's something to keep in mind when dealing with these companies. Now, what I find just insane here is this is not the first email I've gotten like this. There are other people that have said, I don't even want you to share what I told you at all, not just to redact out the company name. But I've had lots of emails like this since I did my video on Nintendo, and it really is, for me, a bit of a red pill to see that so many of these companies that were, I guess, more revered when I was a kid, every kid kind of, at least where I was, they would look at like Sony and Microsoft as the, quote, evil company and Nintendo as the good company. But like, man, I mean, it really is. I don't know if it was just I didn't recognize it at the time because I was younger and I was just focused on enjoying my original large gray Game Boy with its 4 AA batteries, and I just didn't think about this, or if it's changing over time. But more and more companies are doing this. This is the, I hate to use this term. It makes me sick, but this is in many ways the new normal. You have to think about it. When people say, well, why push for right to repair? Why not just vote with your wallet by choosing a company that doesn't do this? A big part of the problem is it's almost impossible to choose with your wallet. When I was speaking to that gentleman over at AutoCare in a video that I did about 2 weeks ago, he told me, when I asked him straight up, okay, if I want to vote with my wallet and choose a company that is friendly to you, which car should I buy? He said there isn't any. You're pretty much picking different levels of anti-right to repair, but you're not going to find one that is actually pro-right to repair, and that's very sad. But the saddest part is that if you're talking about most computers that are out now, I can't count Framework yet since it's not being delivered yet, but just about any computer that's out now, cell phones that are out now, appliances that are out now, cars that are out now, just about everything is done this way because this is now what's considered normal in our society. It used to be that normal was let's produce devices where if something goes wrong with them, Someone with a basic level of skill set will be able to fix it for you. Even if you're not able to fix it because you don't know how to do it in your home or that's just not your expertise, don't worry. Bring it to us. We're the repair people. We'll be able to fix it for you. And that is really, really being eroded away under the end. There are lots of people that will say this is because things are getting smaller, or these are things that are getting miniaturized, or it's far too complex now, or oh, the security. I mean, I fix these things every single day. How many people are showing up in the New York Times saying, I had my device fixed by Rossmann and now he's able to, he's showing up on my computer screen afterwards or some shit like that. It's not something that's happening on a widespread level. And you'll have people that say, well, you can't expect people to do things like replace a USB port. That's way too hard. That's crazy. You can't, everything's miniaturized now. This showed up in the video that I did where I uploaded the cameo of Steve Wozniak, where he was talking about all the stuff that he worked on. And they said, Steve Wozniak, he's old. And back in the day, they didn't even have Surface Mount, so of course everything was easy. We live in a different era now. You know, you can't just expect anybody to do that. I'm not IPC certified. I didn't graduate college. I cheated on my chemistry just to get out of high school. I didn't take a class to learn how to solder. I didn't take a class to learn how to do any of these things. I'm not certified in anything. And if you look through my videos at just how much my hand shakes and how unsteady I am when I work on things, I'm most certainly not someone that you would imagine would be doing precise rework. I mean, one of the reasons I stopped doing that is I'm just not able to keep myself steady anymore. It's been a problem over the past several, 5 to 7 years. But even I'm able to do this stuff. And I have over 600 videos of doing it. And it's not like these are made up. It's not like they're deceptively edited. Most of those videos that are up were at some point a live stream board repair on the live channel where you could see everything in real time. They're pulling the wool over your eyes. And I don't think that we should allow this to be accepted as the new normal. I don't think that we should allow just being screwed over when it comes to having something repaired, whether it is a car, a game console, a portable game console, home appliances, trucks, tractors, medical equipment. Like, this is spread to everything. It's so sad how far beyond the point of voting with our wallets we are. Because in some way, if you truly want to vote with your wallet, if you really want to vote with your wallet, what you need to do is opt out of modern society. You have to make a commitment that you are only going to purchase something that is used, that you are never going to buy something new, that you are only going to make do with things that already exist, that you will never buy new. Because it doesn't matter what industry we're talking about. Every company in some way, shape, or form does this. They may not all have the exact same policies on the exact same parts or the exact same documentation, but somewhere, in some way, due to this new normal, almost every company finds a way to stick the tip in. And it's not something that's going to change unless we notice it as a problem, recognize it as a problem, acknowledge it, and face it head on. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. If you're a Nintendo fanboy and you're mad at me over the last video and this video because you think I'm being unfair to Nintendo, just click the videos list on my channel and scroll down. I assure you, I spend a lot of time focusing on other companies. I'm not trying to single you out. Trust me, there's another company whose fans may have the right to feel that way, but not you. I'll see you in the next video.
If you can't afford to pay me unemployment, or your system
You
is
will
not
be
set
paid.
up,
You will be paid
but
unemployment
they can't
from the
wait
day.
for they can't wait for the money. They're out of money.
Yeah, we're talking about a couple of days lag on the unemployment insurance, and they will get the check from the date of unemployment. Does not cost them an extra penny. Now, they can say unemployment insurance isn't enough. I get it. Even with the $600 check and the $1,200 check and the unemployment insurance benefit is not enough. I understand the economic hardship. We all feel it. The question is, what do you do about it? And do you put public health at risk? And do you drive up the number of deaths for it? Because you have no idea how to reopen now.
So they're saying that, is there a fundamental right to work if the government can't get me the money when I need it? Is there a fundamental right
you want to go to
work?
work? Go take a job as an essential worker. Do it tomorrow. Right? You're working.
I am.
You're an essential worker. So go take a job as an essential worker.
But the people aren't hiring because of the
No, there are
pandemic.
people hiring. You can get a job as an essential worker. So now you can go to work and you can be an essential worker and you're not going to kill anyone.